Hungary began dismantling the Iron Curtain in May 1989. Nearly 3 months later, hundreds of East Germans who had crossed into Hungary continued on to Austria when Hungarian authorities opened the western border on August 19th. For the first time, citizens of a communist Eastern European country had escaped to the west without fear of being shot or risking their lives in minefields that dotted the frontier. Former border guard Julia Semeriks welcomes the freedoms won by Hungary, but says life after communism has been filled with economic hardship.
Now, as all these hardships are coming one after another, I feel as a father that things are getting more and more difficult and worse, so the results we expected did not happen.
Zoltan Resniak was 52 when the Iron Curtain collapsed. He worked as a machine fitter in a large textile mill in Budapest. Resniak, a committed communist, says he misses the security of those days. He says Hungary's new freedoms have come at the expense of the homeless and unemployed.
In Hungary today, the idea of an 8-hour workday followed by 8 hours of play and 8 hours of rest no longer exists. People are working 12, 14, 16 hours if they're working at all, because there are now 600,000 unemployed in Hungary.
Today, railroad tracks leading to the industrial complex where Resniak worked are overgrown with weeds. His former mill is showing signs of decay. Much of the complex has been privatized. 47-year-old entrepreneur Zsolt Cserhalmi bought a building here 10 years ago for his small business, Plastiprint, which produces signs and logos on T-shirts, cups, pens, and even beauty salon aprons.
From a broader perspective, perhaps it's a pity such a big factory went bankrupt. But from my point of view, it's good, because I was able to buy the building for a good price to run my business.
Cserhalmi notes that his shop would have been impossible under communism, which strictly prohibited private ownership of copying machines and printing presses.
Everything I deal with is duplication. This activity became free with a change in the system. Access to materials became possible, and the whole printing industry became free.
With the collapse of communism, liberty exploded in Hungary. Hungarians can now vote in multi-party elections, travel abroad, and own property. Former border guard Julia Semeriks says the free market system has not solved the country's social problems, but he welcomes the communist collapse.
We thought that once a change of regime happened, there would be a land of milk and honey here. But there is no milk and honey now. I say that in comparison with what it used to be like, we are at least free now.
Most Hungarians agree. But a recent survey shows a majority believes they have lost more than they have gained since the Iron Curtain lifted, which means the dreams and aspirations of Hungarians remain unfulfilled. Peter Fedynsky, VOA News, Budapest.